What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is the first and 12 segment that we like to call Beau's Bets. This is where Beau gives deeps on his picks, his futures, and everything else NFL, college wise. He'll be also jumping in the NBA as well and the NCAAs when they start up again for basketball. So without further ado, Beau, it's all yours.
What's up, guys? How we doing? So as you guys know, we've been kind of killing it with college football recently. I think I told y'all on the live this past Friday. Up actually coming out of the first weekend, up 27 units total. So I'm going to be sharing some of those picks. I was trying to get my groove going week one, so we're going to be rolling into that. So I am going to be touching on the NFL futures since NFL starts tonight. Got Chiefs Ravens here in a little bit, but so I got a couple futures we can play with. I know I've been telling you guys for about 2 weeks I've been looking at these. So I've been really trying to get dialed in on what I wanted to pick. So we're going to start out with season awards. Okay, now with these in particular, I'm not looking to win them whatsoever. Okay, we're looking for guys to really climb that ladder, get really high up in their ratings, like deeper in the season, and then get a really high cash out value from what we started at. Okay. Did that last year, and I think me and a buddy of mine, we were like a pick off from actually cashing the whole parlay for. I think I had some free bet money I threw on there, and it would have won me like $3 or $4 grand. So that's what we're looking to do this year. So here's what I got so far. So for MVP, now this is going to kind of come with a shock because he's got 12-1 odds right now. But Jalen Hurts MVP. I like where he's at. Both now, granted, their O line kind of took a hit, obviously with Jason Kelsey retiring. However, hopefully the rookie or whoever was under him kind of, like learned a lot. At least I fucking hope so. But now and then with the addition of Jahan Dotson into that offense, I think that gives him another weapon to throw to on top of our very high-powered offense. And adding Saquon Barkley, that's going to be maybe some dump passes. Maybe make him look a little bit better. Now, next on the list for Offensive Player of the Year, Mr. Just got his bag from Jerry Jones himself. I got CeeDee Lamb, Offensive Player of the Year this year. Now, that might come as a surprise considering both Christian McCaffrey, who arguably could have won MVP, and Tyreek Hill. So they both almost had a 2,000-yard season, and then I think CMC had 20-some-odd touchdowns and ran for 1,400 yards and had like 600 receiving. Crazy season from them both. However, I see CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, he's been a wide receiver one there for a hot minute, but I see him and Dak really connecting this year after he just got his bag, and he's really going to prove himself. So I'm going with him, and he has really good value where he's at. I think he was 11-1 to win. So then next, Mr. Defensive Player of the Year snub for like from last year. Okay, T.J. Watt from the Steelers, taking him at 8.5 to 1 odds. So compared to Myles Garrett, who actually won the award last year, mirrored his stats. And the crazy part was TJ Watt was hurt. He was hurt and had the same stats that Myles Garrett had. So I don't know. Got to roll with my dad's guy, right? So then lastly, and most certainly not least, I am rolling with Colts defensive stud, defensive rookie of the year, Latu. Okay? Now he probably is the lowest odds on this whole ticket. He's plus 300. It's between him, and honestly, this was a very tough decision. But it's between him, Dallas Turner, who got drafted to the Vikings, and then Jared Verse, who went to the Rams. So with Latu led the NCAA last year in sacks. I think he's coming onto a Colts D line that's going to be very strong. You got Buckner that came back, a couple of our other edge rushers. So I think he's going to be impactful pretty early, and I think more people are going to be worried about Buckner and the rest of our D line and kind of forget about him. Now, the only thing that scares me about Latu is he has had injuries in the past. Okay. But I'm still pretty confident that he could win Defensive Rookie of the Year. So with all four of those parlayed together, guys, $10 on that if it cashes, if or when, will cash you out $74,000. Now, like I said, we're not looking to cash the whole thing out. If it gets to that point, we get super close, I got y'all a year's salary on a 4-leg parlay. But we're looking for an early cash out on that. Now, like I said, sometimes if you get about week 8, 9, normally you can get a pretty high cash out on that, especially if everybody is like super high favorited, which is what I did last year with the Lamar Jackson MVP play. And I sent that to a lot of friends, and they said, dude, you're a psychopath. I said, just watch. What'd he do? He won MVP. So anyway, on to our next picks. So now I went ahead and rolled with some yardage plays here, right? So these are a couple receivers who I think are either one going to have a breakout year. I do have a rookie on here, as well as a couple guys who maybe got some quarterback changes and are in new offenses. All right. So first, I'm gonna roll with my boy DK Metcalf for 1,250 yards. His odds on FanDuel right now, I think, are like plus 300, something like that, to get that amount. Then I've got George Pickens for 1,000 yards. Now, guys, he had 1,100 yards last year, getting thrown to by Kenny Pickett the whole time. Okay, I am way more confident in Russell Wilson, and even if, God forbid, Justin Fields comes on there and starts having to throw to him, I think he can still clear that line pretty easily. Pickens is a very physical offensive threat at wide receiver. The only other person he's really competing with now, since Deontay Johnson left and went to the Panthers, only person he's really competing with is Pat Freiermuth. I'm not necessarily familiar with the rest of their wide receiver room, but I'm pretty confident Pickens can clear 1,000 pretty easily. Now, next, and this one may come as a slight surprise. However, this news just broke before I actually came on here. DeAndre Hopkins has an MCL sprain or tear, I believe. So, with that being said, I'm going to take Calvin Ridley for 1,000 yards right now, which is actually plus money on FanDuel, or his yards for the season, I think it's 776. So you can honestly take both. If you want to take it and up it, because it sounds like Hopkins is going to be out for a little bit, I would totally hammer the hell out of it. Now, my next receiver, don't look at his stats from the last 2 seasons, because again, like I said, Justin Fields was throwing to him in that piss poor Bears offense that nobody liked to watch, right? So I'm taking Darnell Mooney getting thrown to by Kirk Thuggins in Atlanta. Okay, 750 yards for him is 3-1 odds. Now I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like an easy line to me because Kirk Cousins made Jordan Addison. I think he cleared 900 yards or something last year, or even maybe 1,000. He was throwing to him, Adam Thielen, and Justin Jefferson at one point. I mean, guys, I don't know what more you want from me. I mean, I think that's print money. I mean, that's free bread right there. I mean, that could cash like week 9 or 10, and then you've got free money going into the rest of the season. And then last but most certainly not least, I'm going with another Colts player. Surprise, surprise. But I'm going with arguably could be the second option in this Colts offense. Josh Downs is actually currently injured, and I don't think Alec Pierce can take up the pressure that this could bring to him. So I'm going with my boy Adonai Mitchell for 750 receiving yards, and he almost has similar odds to Mooney. I think both AR and Adonai are going to have a great relationship in this offense. I watched him very vaguely at Texas. I'm not as familiar with him as Pete is. However, I think he could easily clear 750 yards in this Colts' offense. So it's going to be between him and Pittman getting receiving yards. Our tight ends are very iffy. Alec Pierce is probably maybe going to get 400 yards this year. And if Downs comes back and is fully healthy, I really don't see him getting that much of a workload, especially if Adonai kind of proves himself this first 4 weeks while Downs is out. So all of those parlayed together, $10 is going to win you 4,800. And now those you can't cash out early. However, I think with those 5 picks, I think that could be a very exciting season. And it'll get you watching some different receivers. And then I have one more. Now this one's a flyer. Okay, now this one's another flyer parlay. Now we're gonna roll with, now the payout's not as much, but now you can kind of mix and match this with the parlay builder they've got on FanDuel. So we're going. First pick's gonna be C.J. Stroud for 4,500 yards. He had 41 or 4,200 last year, and that was with Nico Collins and Tank Dell. And I want you guys to think both Nico and Tank were both injured at certain times of the year, and I think Stroud missed 2 games as well, and he still got 4,200 yards. And they added Stephon Diggs into that offense. I don't know about you guys, but I think he clears 4,500 easy. If you guys wanted to, you guys could take that separate by itself outside of the parlay. It's I think 3-1 odds right now. So I mean, it's got pretty good value. And then I'm going to be running with should be fantasy football legend this year, Breece Hall, to clear 1,000 yards. Now he came off an ACL injury last year and still ran, I think, for 980 yards last year, guys. 1,000 rush yards for him should be cake. Okay. There's really not much more I can really say about Breece Hall. Breece Hall's a stud when he's out on the field. So then next we've got Amon-Ra for the Lions, getting 8 receiving touchdowns. And that Lions' high-powered offense and Dan Campbell both wanting to gamble about every fourth down or third down he's got. Normally he looks deep, and who's he going to be throwing to? Amon-Ra right down the field, and hopefully he'll find the end zone. And some of those gambles he does. Next, we've got a fully healthy former Triple Crown winner, Cooper Kupp, getting 6 receiving touchdowns. Came off injury last year, and I'm pretty sure he ended with 5. I mean, guys, I think that's free bread. Realistically, I think you could probably take him up to 8 or 10. Now, granted, I know some of you might be scared because now you've got Puka in the mix. And obviously, as you guys saw last year, Puka Nacua is, phenomenal wide receiver. However, Cup Stafford's guy. So, they've already got that connection. He led the league in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns, 2 seasons ago? So, he comes back fully healthy. I think him and Matt Stafford are going to be tearing the league apart again. Next, Mr. Reliable himself, Mike Evans, clearing 1,000 yards. Guys, it's almost even money on FanDuel. I don't know what more you want me to do. Every year since he got drafted into the league, he's cleared 1,000 yards easily. Last year, I think he only cleared it by 16 yards, but, we don't need to talk about that. It's fine. And then last, most certainly not least, again, I know I keep referencing my Colts here. Guys, it's hard not to, okay? But with the return of Jonathan Taylor into this Colts offense, I think we see Taylor get a ton of goal line touches because opposing offenses are going to be afraid that Richardson's going to run it in. Very similar to Lamar Jackson and his running back room he had last year. Now, JT's line, I believe, is at 8 or 10, or like 8.5, something like that. So to pick him up for 12, it's 3-1 odds at FanDuel right now. I think he clears that easily. Scrubs like Gus Edwards last year in that Ravens offense, he had 13. And then he just left and went to the Chargers. And that's behind Lamar Jackson. More physical Anthony Richardson, because he's bigger than Lamar, let's be honest. So who are you going to be more afraid of? Anthony Richardson bowling you up the line, or are you going to pitch it back to your all-pro running back and then let him punch it in? You got to run the gamble. So I'm running the gamble, and I'm running with JT for 12 rushing touchdowns this year. Now on that parlay, like I said, it's not as much of a payout, but I think, I don't think you guys are going to be complaining about $1,100 at the end of the season either if you put $10 on it. Now, like I said, this is just $10 bettors. If you guys wanted to up it to 100, that's on you guys. I'm not going to tell you to do that because I'm confident in my picks, not that confident. But then I do have one straight bet I do want to throw in for a rookie who I love, and this is also one of Buddha's, should be one of Buddha's favorite players. Former Heisman winner Jalen Daniels coming into this Washington offense. Guys, their O-line sucks, okay? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They're bad. I do think Jaden Daniels is going to be running for his life against these opposing teams. And he just came off of a campaign where he had 1,100 rushing yards last year. Okay? Now, his odds to be the rookie rush yards leader is plus 360. Okay? Now, like I said, straight bet on that, you probably throw $50, be fine. However, the next 2 closest guys in that race is Jonathan Brooks and I believe Marshawn Lloyd and Jonathan Brooks. Both of those guys, I think, are going to be in rough spots this year. Jonathan Brooks is going to be coming off an injury and won't be reinstated until, I think, week 4 or 5, I believe. So I would be avoiding him, at least for a bit, but he could come on the scene and tear it up, whereas Jalen Daniels is going to be starting the whole time. Now, Marshawn Lloyd's going to be playing behind Josh Jacobs. He is moving up to the RB2, though, because A.J. Dillon just got injured and he's out for the season. So, Lloyd could be a good option, but I'm rolling with Daniels. He's a good scrambling quarterback. He can read his runs well. So, that's probably who I'm rolling with. So, those are all of my futures. I will get some of these posted, and yeah, guys, let's win some bread this year, and I will have more picks for y'all on Friday. So I don't necessarily want to drop my Kansas City Ravens picks for tonight. I'm kind of having to reevaluate on the spot because of the big thunderstorm that came through and postponed the game by 35 minutes. So we're gonna have to cut out there, and then I'll have you guys some more NCAA picks, and I'm gonna be rolling with some ladders. So make sure you guys get your bread up. So
Absolutely, guys. So yeah, this will be a regular weekly thing where Beau will pop in. He'll give you his bets for his future bets. We'll either drop them on Wednesdays or Thursdays. That way he has time to get his picks in and everything else. And then Fridays on the lives, if he has any other picks, he'll throw them out there on the live. But we'll be able to have this up. We'll have a short clip of it on our Twitter and our YouTube. And then we'll have the full clip on. We'll have the full clip on YouTube. We'll have parts of it on Instagram and Twitter. So to get the full rundown of all the futures, it'll be on the YouTube page, which will be first 12 ounces as always. I'll tag it here below and that's it, man. Good luck betting, like Beau always says too. Don't bet your house. It's not about that. It's about
please don't.
having. It's about having fun and just rolling with it, and then we'll roll from there. Hope y'all enjoy it. We'll see you on Friday, guys. So cool.
Yep. See you guys. Peace.